there's probably such a misconception when it comes to like, oh, does she does she just have better things to do, or like is the music not important? It's because the music is everything to me, and I care so much about what I put out, especially for my fans who have waited this long. So I really strive to, and I don't want to use the word, I'm not going to use the word perfection. I'm just like, I've trusted myself, I feel like, and I'm willing to bet on me.
Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today, I can't believe I'm even going to make this video, but I'm going to be reviewing Normani's debut album. It's crazy, I know it's crazy. I'm actually very happy that we have finally arrived at this point in time, despite it being, like 5 years since she teased a damn album. But you know what they say, art takes time. So let's get into the video. Before we start, I just want to provide a little context about Normani. So Normani is born Normani Corday Hamilton, May 31st, 1996, making her a Gemini. Making her a Gemini.
Making me a Gemini.
And it's said that Normani has been singing her whole life. She's been dancing her whole life, even tried a little bit of acting. And when it was audition season in LA, her mum would drive her down from Houston and they would do some auditions together. However, I recently saw a clip of Normani saying that dance definitely has to be her first love. She was always scared to sing, but dancing was something that just came absolutely natural to her, which I do find interesting. And then in 2012, she auditioned for the X Factor, singing, of all songs, Aretha Franklin, Chain of Fools. That's a big song to be singing, you know. That's a big song to be singing. But anyway, she sang the song and she got 4 yeses. And she went all the way to boot camp, but she was kicked off the second week of boot camp. But then, of course, as we all know the story, she joined forces with Ali Brooke, Lauren Haregi, Dina James, and Camila Cabello to form Fifth Harmony. And I think they placed third on that year's X Factor. I think they placed third. The first song I personally remember hearing from Fifth Harmony was Work From Home. And that was quite severe, I can't lie. Now, I wasn't really that conscious of Normani as in who she was as an artist until around 2018 when she released Love Lies with Khalid. Because I think it was the Billboard Music Awards where she performed Love Lies with Khalid and did that like turn, drop on the stage, had everybody like gobsmacked. That's when I first was like, oh, who's this? Something I did think was very important to note is her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, which Normani has spoken about before, saying that her mum had previously been diagnosed with breast cancer when she was about 5 years old. But during, I think it was 2021, her mum was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she can remember her like times where her mum was on FaceTime doing her chemo and she was asking Normani, let me hear what you've been doing in the studio. And then that following year, her dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So she, of course, took time to look after her family, which is why she was gone for so long. But, how the general public are, and how they like to, get at you and tell you that you're slipping away and things like that. So that's kind of what happened to Normani. There's this tweet. There's this tweet thread, I'm going to insert it if I can, of this guy talking about, like, the album and, like, where is the damn album, and this has been like day 3 and this is year 2 since I asked for the album, year 5 and year 3. You're so bad at it. I just think it's so funny. Let's just get into the dopamine rollout. So February 21st of 2024, Normani posted a website. She posted a tweet to a website called whereisthedamnalbum.com. And I'm not gonna lie, that had me a little bit shook because I was like, oh, she's playing into the game. So I was like, oh, so the album definitely is coming, because why are you just gonna be why are you gonna release that and not release an album? But then, in true Normani fashion, silence. We heard nothing. I was just like, okay, where is this damn album.com? But then on March 23rd, 2024, Normani announced that the single 159 featuring Gunna would be the lead single from her debut album, and that would be releasing on April 26th. And April 26th, I was locked in. And then, like Normani likes to do, she just disappears out of the face of the earth, giving us nothing. There was no visuals. I was thinking to myself, okay, what's going on? And then on May 31st, her birthday, might I add, she released Candy Paint. And that's when I was like, ooh, we gearing up for an album. And then I think it was sometime in June, she released that little trailer snippet about dopamine and like get like strapped in, buckle your seatbelts because we're going in. And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, this is about to be insane. Okay, so how I'm going to review this album is go through track by track and tell you everything I loved about it and if I had any critiques. And then I will move on to giving my overall opinions on the album at the end. So track number 1 is Big Boy, with writing credits from Stara, Normani, and Tommy Brown, also known as TB Hits, and he is the sole producer on this song. And my opinion on this song, from the jump, I love the effect on her vocal, as well as the deep voice singing in the background. Like, it was like a very like static voice almost. This song is very braggadocious to me. Like, the chorus is very catchy. I love Stara's ad-libs. I like the placement of where, you know, Stara delivered her verse. I thought it was really cool. My only critique is that it was a little bit repetitive at times. I just thought, okay, I definitely can see the song structure formation of a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, post-chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, post-chorus, bridge, chorus, post-chorus being the outro as well. I definitely got that from it, but I wasn't mad because the vocals were good. You know what I mean? It was like I can actually bypass that, and listening to it a couple of times, I definitely have been able to think, oh, okay, yeah, no, this is definitely a good track. So Still, I really like Still. Still has writing credits from Normani, JB Hits, and I think I'm pronouncing this right, Cortland Jabray. I hope I pronounced that right. Who JB Hits and Jabray also have producing credits. I do like the song. I love the sample of the song. It samples the hip hop song Still Trippin' by Mark Jones, and I think it's featuring Paul Wall and Slim Thug. And so I kind of like that trap inspired kind of beat. And, you know, she kind of goes further on to expressing like her musical influences, because she gives that little homage to Pimp C, saying R.I.P. And I think, you know, she's just paying respect to her kind of southern roots, being like a little country bumpkin. But I don't really think it's anything standout. I don't think there's anything noteworthy of, oh, I really loved this and I really loved that. But I really do like the placement of where it is on the album. I think it's just setting up, okay, this is the kind of vibe that I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you runs, I'm gonna give you lines, I'm gonna give you production, I'm gonna give you vocal arrangement, ad-libs, harmonies, and she does all of that within moderation. You know, there's not one thing that perks my ear up and makes me want to like sit up and just listen and rewind again. However, it is equally just a good song. So I can't really complain too much. Again, the only problem that I would have is the repetition. You know, when I'm listening for the first time, I was thinking to myself, ooh, I don't know. But after a couple of listens, I'm definitely liking Still. It's definitely going onto the playlists. So All Yours is the third song on the album, and it has writing credits from Normani, JB Hits, and Abby Keane. Looking at the name Abby Keane, and I'm a big Ray fan. I'm a huge Ray fan. So I was looking and I was like, okay, Rachel Keane, Abby Keane. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is Ray's little sister. And I Googled it, and it is Ray's little sister. Yeah, so the artist Ray, her little sister's called Absolutely Abby Keane. And she has both writing and production credits on this. And some other people with the production credits are Business Boy and Ari Pensmith. And with this song, I definitely do love the production. I think they all did a beautiful job. And I was really loving the cadence on the first verse. I thought it was quite top tier. And my personal favourite line is, this kitty cat got the Midas touch. You turn to gold in it. Because I love Greek mythology, and of course the Midas touch turns everything into gold. I was just like, oh, okay, I love that. It's very clever. I would say though, on the that part of the chorus, I definitely would have loved some vocal layering in the background. I definitely think that it could have had a little like an ooh and ah effect in the background. Didn't necessarily need a counter melody or anything like that. I just thought the chorus kind of fell flat for me. What was really doing it for me was the verse and the pre-chorus. However, I do love Rapmani. Can we call her Rapmani? Rapping Normani? I do love her in her little rapping bag. I thought it was quite slick. I like the cadence that she slips into. I really like it. Oh, and one thing I must say is I really appreciate the bridge. Okay, it's given me everything I've been lacking in R&B right now. I think it was sultry. I think it was very nice. So track number 4, Lights On. I'm definitely saying we are now in the album. This song has writing credits from Victoria Monet. Okay, she is a pioneer of this contemporary R&B. She has so many writing credits. Most famously, I would say known for her penmanship on the Sweetener album and Thank You Next, and her work with Ariana Grande. Also on the writing credits too are Normani and JB Hits, who's also on the production credits, JB Hits, with someone else called Harv. So I really like the water in the background, you know, in the beat, and I kind of like the little ad-libs to begin. I thought they were very slick. To me, this is a very grown song. It's very grown, it's very sexy. I love it, I really do. It's very slow, it takes time, you know, you can exhale listening to this song. Like, it allows you to breathe. I feel like I'm in the album. Like I said previously, I feel like I'm in the album. My favorite line is, "You're with a star with a mean face card. You can't tell me that Victoria Monet didn't write that." I would say it was very Janet Jackson coded. Like, listening to it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of like a modern take on the Velvet Rope album. Like, I definitely could see that type of vibe, like 90s going into the noughties type of Janet. What definitely stood out for me, of course, because I love background harmonies, was the background harmonies, but that spoken bridge, very, very R&B, very nice, very perfectly placed. I love how she delivered that with that breathy tone, and it's definitely going onto my playlist. Like, it was just sublime. She did kind of do a little counter melody on the final chorus, but I would have loved a full-on counter melody. I would have really loved it. I would have just thought that would have made it for me. Even though it didn't have it, it kind of did have it, but it was more ad-libs. That's kind of, to me, that's okay. And, you know, the outro with the breathy lights on, I really liked that. It was a good way to end the song. And I'm pretty sure I heard a heartbeat on the very last part, and I just thought, oh, okay, yeah. You're trying to get my heart racing. I really like that vibe. 'Cause I want you to take my time. So Take My Time, I really like how Take My Time starts. I really thought it was a good little starter. And then it kind of switched into that Calvin Harris kind of tropical type beat, which I wasn't expecting. It's not like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. Like, this to me is definitely one of the weaker songs on the album. It was very much ABC lyrics and ABC structure. And, you know, I do understand, you know, within an album, you need kind of like deeper cuts and you kind of need to recenter yourself. Okay, I'm here in the album. I understand that. I understand its placement within the album. But, you know, I don't really like them filler tracks. But I get albums need filler tracks. I personally ain't a fan. So moving swiftly on from that. One of the standouts on the album, Insomnia. Okay, first of all, I'm seeing writing credits from Brandy Norwood, say her name, Brandy Norwood, and Victoria Monet, as well as Normani. It has production credits from Stargate, who, you know, huge R&B hits in the 2000s, working with like Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Rihanna, and Neo, like all of these beautiful R&B artists that we love and adore, and as well as, you know, TB Hits on the production as well. From the initial background harmonies, to me, I'm hearing Full Moon. I'm hearing, I ain't even gonna front, I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I was just like, ooh, I was like, oh my gosh. I really loved it. Like, Full Moon the song, but Full Moon the album as a whole. Loved it. I thought it was amazing. And I just like the lyrics. Like, I just loved the lyrics. I thought the lyrics are giving substance. You know, it's giving me story. It's really painting a picture. I thought it was quite vivid. And I like on the pre-chorus, like, we're hearing, like, Normani's full voice. I really do love in R&B, specifically like 90s to 90s R&B, you know, with the likes of Brandy and Aaliyah, for example, how they have that kind of soft, breathy tone. but equally just as good vocal technicians. If they wanted to give full voice, they could. And I was a bit concerned that Normani couldn't, but she showed up and showed out with a little full voice on that pre-chorus. I was loving it. I thought it was amazing. And then, you know, when we move into the chorus, the background harmonies there, I can really hear Brandy. I'm not sure if she's actually on the song, but I can really hear Brandy like down. I can hear Brandy down. One other thing I did really like about this song too was the electric guitar used. It kind of reminded me of X Factor by Lauryn Hill, that like electric guitar placement. Not kind of the same vibe or anything, but it's just like unexpected, but it works perfectly with an R&B. I think electric guitars are very overlooked in R&B. And yeah, just to kind of wrap it all in, I love the lyrics. I love kind of what she's talking about, trying to get rid of somebody that you know is bad for you, but you know, you can't even think about them because it's too triggering. It's just giving you insomnia every time you think about them, blah, 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 blah. Like, I love the concept of it all. I think it's a very good song.
If you let me take 'em, you might never get 'em back. I'm a baddie and I don't know what to add.
Now, I could talk about Candy Paint. Okay, so first of all, written by Stara, KC, 302 Quad, Normani, with production credits to Tommy Brown, you know, TB Hits. The one thing I want to say, and it's not really about the song itself, but it's just about the placement. Going from Insomnia straight to Candy Paint was just a bit too much for my ear. Like, it sounded off. Like, it sounded very chaotic. I feel like Insomnia should have had 2 seconds of silence at least at the end of the song if you're going to go into Candy Paint, because I was just thinking, what the bloody hell is going on? With all that said, no one can tell me that Candy Paint ain't a good song. Like, why are you lot all hating? I think it's a perfect song for one of the lead singles. You know, I get people are like, oh, like this song you could have used or this song you could have used, but why am I going to let you know the best songs that I got? Like, I'm going to wait to the album. Like, I want you all to be shocked. So, of course, I'm going to use these songs. And just talking a little bit about the actual song, I love the lyrics. Like, Baby, I can take your place if I wanted. I love, on the chorus specifically and the pre-chorus, that kind of little... I love a ooh vowel background. I think it's very simple, very effective, and it does the job. But yeah, not too much about Candy Paint. We've all heard it, we all love it. Okay, so track number 8 is Grip. With Grip, you know, I think it definitely is an interlude, even if it says it's not an interlude, because it's such a short song. But I really love the sample.
And here is the idol with Kung Fu.
I just think it's quite funny. And I think they used that one specifically because it was talking about Kung Fu. In the beat, I can hear the use of the pentatonic scale. It's that kind of like high pitch thing in the beat. It sounds like a recorder or something. It's a very old scale. And so it's used in very like traditional Japanese and Chinese music. And so if you think about the kind of like morning song, I think it's called, that is the pentatonic scale, and you can kind of hear that in the background. And so I think with the reference of Kung Fu, you know, kind of East Asian influence, that's what I'm getting. Okay, my ear could be way off and I'm just chatting was and waffling, but that's what I heard. Okay, so 159, we really need to talk about this lead single. This song is just background harmonies galore. That's the first thing I want to say about this song. It is such a beautiful example of how to layer a song with background harmonies and ad-libs. I think it is perfect. And, you know, let me just get Gunna out of the way. I really like Gunna on this song. I kind of like how he switched it up. He found a pocket, he found a little cadence to slip into, and he sounded really lovely. At the end of his verse, you know, he kind of did a line to line with Normani for a little bit. I really liked that. I enjoyed that. Going back to Normani and kind of like her gift for background harmonies, I'm very intrigued to know if she is vocally arranging all of this herself, because if she is, we need to start talking about Normani, the vocal technician. Like, you know, that's, to me, that's a composer. And I kind of love how she didn't give a visual for this lead single. I think she wanted her art to speak for herself, because this is art. You know what I mean? This isn't just a song. This is a full listening experience. Okay, so moving on to Distance. You know, just as soon as the song starts, I have to give props to the production team, because I love how choppy the beat and that vocal within the beat are. It was just very refreshing. You know, it was giving me something new on this album that I had yet to hear. And in this song, I really love the lyrics. I think they're quite descriptive. And I really like the line, especially, I fell in love with potential. I don't know why, I think it's just such a beautifully written line. Another thing I really do love is the build into the chorus. I love that build. I thought, oh, that is really nice. Like, it just went straight into this like very full chorus, whilst, you know, the verse wasn't bad, but the verse was just like, oh, okay, I feel like something is supposed to happen here, and it gave me that chorus. Also, within that chorus, I really loved the secondary vocal doing the harmony. Like, she did that in full voice. All these songs are just telling me is that she really loves R&B. Like, she really has studied R&B. She knows her craft well, because I'm seeing inspiration taken from the greats, whether she knows she's doing it or not. And I just think if that's what the greats were doing, and that's what you're doing. Like, you're doing such a fantastic job. Now, this song, oh my goodness, it's dark, moody, it's sensual, seductive, but at the same time it's like light and ethereal. Like, I just love it. And one thing I really do like about Normani on this song is how she delivers her vocal. I love the song. I love the line, like, act like a baby with your grown ass.
Act just like a baby with your grown ass. Don't you know that?
I love how she delivered that line. It was kind of like fast but slow, and then went fast again. But James on the chorus, it's just insane. Like, his voice is just insane. I was first introduced to James Blake on the song Forward from the Lemonade album by Beyonce, and I've loved his voice ever since. Like, it is just so beautiful. It's just so good. And I love that little bridge with James on the background harmonies, and then Normani like on the melody. I just think it's just sublime. I love on the outro, the beat is like slowly taking itself away until it's Normani, just a cappella, just a used to have it automatic. Yeah, not too much on that song. That song is 10s across the board. Love that song. Okay, so moving on to Little Secrets. I like how Tantrum ends with the automatic line, and then this song starts with the automatic line. However, there's something just missing with this song for me. I don't know why. I think from the verse to the pre-chorus, the beat there was a problem. Like, it just did not sound right to my ear. I do love the rhyming schemes in the verses, but when it gets to that kind of like let me up, I was just thinking like, okay. I feel like I would have been more of a fan if it was at the start of the album, just because you're going from Tantrums, and I know that Wild Side is next, so I'm thinking, why are you adding this like fast-paced song here? Anyway, that's all I can say about that. I can see it growing on me, I can't lie, because on the outro with the let me up part being a cappella, I did like it, but there was just something wrong with the beat. No, but that's all I can say about that song, Little Secrets.
We can't just keep talking about it. We think too often about it.
Now, of course, the last song on the album is Wild Side. I don't think I need to talk about Wild Side. I mean, you've never heard my opinion on that song. Love the song, love the music video, love everything about the song. I love the interpolation of One in a Million. That shout outs to Aaliyah and kind of like Timbaland, sorry, but also shout outs to Dark Child. What I will say, however, kind of referencing it to the album, I think it is a perfect close to the album. I'm wondering if they do a deluxe and Fair will be under deluxe, because like Fair just got washed. But anyway. And so yeah, that's my tracklist review. My overall thoughts on the album, solid body of work. The album to me, quite damn near perfection. I know that I'm a fan, but just taking like the fan meat out of it, like just speaking objectively, that's R&B, like it's R&B down. Like, it's just so good. It's such a good body of work. I really hope she brings this on tour. I hope she comes to the UK, because I definitely will spend a pretty penny to watch that. Do I think it was worth the wait? I'm going to say yes. I definitely do think it was worth the wait. I think it's very R&B. I think a lot of people will be upset that there's no motivation. You know, there's no pop kind of element to it. But I think, why must we place that expectation for Normani to be a pop girl all the time? You know what I mean? Like, she wants to be R&B, and she's very good at being R&B. Let her be R&B. But I guess Normani is just taking that stand, like, nah, this is what I want to do. Like, I can do pop. Don't get it twisted. The one thing I definitely need to find out is if she vocally arranged the majority of the things on this album. Because to me, Brandy, Mariah Carey, even Ariana Grande, these are people that background harmonies are insane. Like, quite literally insane. And the background harmonies of this album are on that level. They are on that level, especially Insomnia. I know for a fact that that was vocally arranged and produced by Brandy. No one can tell me any different. But every other song, it was just R&B down. Like the vocals was like perfection. The background harmonies, the layering with the little ad libs too, the counter melodies sometimes. It was just truly a beautiful homage to 90s and 2000s R&B. I personally loved it. I will be listening to this album over and over and over again, with the inception of Little Secrets that may just have to go. I can't lie. I'm not vibing with that song. I'm just not. I'm so sorry. It may grow on me, and I'll update you if it does. But yeah, the sound of the album, very full, very luscious. Shout outs to every single producer, because they really did a good job on this album, even the ones that like maybe I didn't mention, because it was very full. It was a very full sound. It was very luscious. It was very smooth, sultry and sexy. Definitely fit the mood for like contemporary R&B. Such a beautiful listen. I think it was such a beautiful listen. It was definitely an album. It wasn't just singles all put together. I definitely think that there was substance to it. I think that there was meaning, there was melody, there was lyrics, there was bridges. She gave me bridges. They may not be like Michelle Williams, but they were a bridge nonetheless. I really appreciated that. And there's nothing more I can say about this album. I would really be interested to know what you guys think about the album. Do you think that it's a good body of work? What do you think is missing? What do you think could have been added? What do you think could have been taken out? What would you have liked to see more if Normani does a second album? What would you like to hear her do? Just let me know all of those things. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. If you have anything that you want to share it in the comments below. Please give it a like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. I took a lot of time off. But I'm back. Hopefully I'm back to be posting regularly. So yeah, thank you so much. And I hope you guys who haven't listened to this album, give this album a listen. Goodbye.